guys, I'm David DiMuzio, and my two brothers, Paul, Mark, and I formed the company Locklab together. And today I wanted to bring Steve on, who's been a long-time friend of mine. We've been close friends for about 10 years, and Steve's been working in the hair loss industry for 30 years or so.
25, but
25, okay. Steve has been a big fan of Locklab. It's really changed his life as far as his own hair goes, and he's helped to get a lot of people on it. So I wanted him to just share his experience with Locklab, what that was like discovering it. It was obviously formulated by our close friend, Dr. Daniel McGrath, the combination. And so, yeah, share your experience.
Going back, Dr. McGrath and I, everybody knows that watches these videos, are really close. We're very good friends, and I admire him for being a world-class surgeon to just help me help others get really cool hair transplants. Mm-hmm. What I learned right away in my relationship with him, because I met him back in 2002, was that it's more about kind of managing a patient versus just doing a hair transplant. And I give him complete credit for kind of bringing me into that because, hey, look, everybody's got to make some money, everybody's got to have a job. And I was out there saying like, hey, I was bald, I got hair transplants, I'm happy. I guess that works for everybody, right? Not necessarily. Different people with different components of their loss and different phases and ages in their life, they need to be managed differently. So bam, right away we were into this finasteride thing. And all of us know all about finasteride and Propecia. Merck, which came out with Propecia way back about 19 years ago, lost the actual patent. And then everybody wondered what was going to happen and what's going on with losing that patent. Well, the good news is price came down a little bit. And the other good news is others out there with hair loss that weren't just rich guys could afford this medication. So now it opened up kind of Pandora's box. It opened up something where we can now kind of mass distribute this to everyone and stop their hair loss.
And to date, finasteride is the best medication available to stop hair loss.
There's no question about it. And I want to make one point here, which is very important, David. Just so you out there realize, Merck still has the patent on the actual formula of Propecia. Even though they lost the patent on manufacturing finasteride for hair loss, they still own the actual formula. So the formulations of the generics are not the same. So Dr. McGrath came up with an idea in about 2015 where we were going to add oral minoxidil to the finasteride. Mm-hmm. For years, it was Propecia and topical Rogaine, and that was the formula to preventative treatments. I don't know, David.
It seemed like something was missing. I mean, people were still losing a good amount of ground, it felt like, with the topical minoxidil and the finasteride. I know I took both for a while as well. And that said, again, like you mentioned about generics sometimes being different, I feel like some of the finasteride that I personally took wasn't as good a quality finasteride as I probably should have been taking as well, because I was just buying it as cheap as possible. And there is something to the cost of drugs and medications. And when you try and make something as cheap as possible, just like making anything else, a car as cheap as possible or anything, not to be quite the same quality as actually using the best quality ingredients. So cut to Dr. McGrath formulating this oral minoxidil combination finasteride biotin pill, which we now have branded as Locklab. And Steve is getting people on this, and it's just completely different response than happened previously with the thousands of people that you helped with the topical stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, the point is that Locklab has done so well, which kind of allows me to sleep well at night, is they're helping people with hair loss because they're using the highest grade generic Propecia on the market. Now, keep in mind, it's not Propecia, and it's also not $275 a month. Uh-huh. So it's the very best generic finasteride you can get, third-party quality controlled, which warms my heart, along with a 5 milligram pill of oral finasteride, all in the same pill. I kind of imitate Moses up on the mountain, saving all the bald guys and all that stuff. I'm like, Locklab. I can't say it 3 times. It's out there now, it's the best, and it's what everybody needs. It's what I use. Reason being is, check each box of what you have to do to get what we call, David, that silver bullet, which was missing when it was even just Propecia for all those years. The response was great, and it was something new. This industry's always looking for something new, but once we added, with Dr. McGrath added actually, the 5 milligram oral minoxidil to that finasteride pill, it was lights out. It made a huge change.
It was suddenly to the point that instead of me previously just telling my friends to get on finasteride, they might be like, oh, I think maybe it's working okay. It was to the point that every single friend of mine and pretty much all my male friends are on Locklab. Everyone that I recommended it to would, within 3 to 6 months, call or text me, or I'd see them and they would go, oh my gosh, David, everybody I know is telling me how much better my hair looks now than it did a couple of months ago. After that experience of my brothers and I all being on this medication for about 5 years, that we were like, we need to make this available to everyone, not just Dr. McGrath's patients. And so we branded that as Locklab, and Steve's been helping us. Steve is not affiliated with our company at all. He's gotten tons of people on Locklab because he knows it's what works and he wants to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And all I want, besides, continuing my relationship with David, now that I met his brothers, it's like now I got 3 of you guys. That's really cool. All I want is to get that out there. You guys all know that I've only wanted to get my message out there to help others. And the best way to help others is to start early and keep your hair. It's easier to keep what you have than get back what you lost. Yeah. Let's get it out there, man. Locklab, Locklab, Locklab.
You did it 3 times that time.
I did it good. Yeah.